as Detective Bo had revealed his plans to blow up the house in the cave. Velma pointed out that he would need a distraction. All eyes then turned to Shaggy and Scooby, who were not enthralled by the gesture. Daphne reached into her pocket but realised that she was all out of Scooby snacks. Velma still had a steel box of Scooby snacks, which the duo accepted as long as they could have the entire box. Fred, Daphne and Velma then went off to go help Bo place the explosives in strategic points around the house. This included the entrance to the cave that was under the stairs. It was Shaggy and Scooby's job to distract the evil cat creatures so that the last of the explosives could be set at the other entrance to the cave that led into the forest. Shaggy and Scooby creeped their way down the dark tunnel. They hid behind the corner and watched from a distance. Kevin was the only one still standing. All of the other cat creatures had fought themselves so much and had lost quite a bit of blood in the process, so they all just lay on the ground. Kevin began the resurrection process to bring back Simone and Lena. He began chanting, Osogadi sama, omostik, dimati setanos dimana, korsono se timata, isolata Simone, kakolilna. The ghosts of Simone and Lena then rose from the ground, where they had previously met their fate after failing to drain life force after a harvest moon. The resurrection was only partially complete. For them to be brought back fully, a sacrifice would be required for each of them so that they could drain the life force from them, restoring them again. Simone's ghost took a minute to look around, and then turned back to Kevin. She asked him why hers and Lena's descendants had lowered themselves to petty fighting. Kevin then explained, David, Hingley and Emma are traitors. They'll wish to put an end to us all. Simone then looked over to David, who had become conscious again and was trying to pull himself back together. His cat eyes opened widely in the shock of seeing Simone. Simone told David that he deserved to rot away into nothing. Sophie then gained her strength and got back up as she had spotted Shaggy and Scooby. She pounced over, grabbing Shaggy. She began to drain his life force. Scooby growled and jumped onto the cat creature's back, knocking it over. As she fell, it let go of Shaggy. That dog! Simone cried. But this will be more fitting. Two of the ones who caused your demise, Simone. You can get your revenge on them by draining them, Kevin informed her. Simone and Lena's ghosts chased after Shaggy and Scooby. Sophie and Kevin attempted to chase after them as well. However, the zombies had begun putting themselves back together. One of them grabbed Sophie by the legs, bringing her to the ground again. The others were grabbing onto whatever part of Kevin they could get their hands on. Kevin struggled against it. Part of the fur around his ankle was ripped off in the process. Shaggy and Scooby hid behind the cat statue. The two ghosts and Kevin were right behind them. Then the duo had an idea. They began to push the statue over. It took their combined strength, but they were able to do it. The statue fell onto Kevin, bringing him crashing to the ground. Meanwhile, Bo was planting the last of the explosives at the other entrance to the cave. The rest of the gang, however, ran into the cave, as they could hear the screams of Shaggy and Scooby. Despite being hit by a statue, Kevin was able to pick himself up. However, his leg was clearly injured, so was only able to limp toward Shaggy and Scooby. Despite this, they were cornered. Cat creature on one side, two ghosts on the other. Fred, Daphne and Velma arrived, which caused just enough of a distraction for the harvest moon to pass. Kevin then began yelling in pain. You're meddling! He yelled as his body began rotting away. Simone and Lena's ghosts also began disappearing, as well as the zombie souls finally being put to rest as they had been avenged. In one last attempt, Kevin threw his arm, claws stretched out towards the gang. However, the arm was caught and pulled back by David, who had finally gotten back up. Our time is finally over. The curse is ended for us as well. We'll finally be at peace. The two of them, along with the rest of the cat creatures and the zombies, rotted away into nothing but dust. As the dust cleared, David's ghost appeared. I couldn't pass on without thanking you for everything you've done. I was not innocent in all of this, but perhaps now that the curse is over, I too might finally find some peace. Farewell, Fred, Daphne, Velma, and of course, Scooby-Doo, the ghost of David said, waving as he disappeared. The gang didn't have time to hang around though. They ran out of the cave that led into the wooded swamp. Detective Bo waved them over to a ditch that he was crouched down in. Once the gang had reached him, he set off the explosives. The explosions made the cave cave in on itself. What the explosives didn't destroy of the house, the fire that it caused took care of that. The six of them stood there, silently just watching the flames. The curse had finally been lifted from Zombie Island, and with all of Simone and Lena's descendants now dead, the curse could now no longer be passed on to anyone else. Detective Bo flew them off in his own police helicopter. The gang were then able to see the flames die down. Nothing remained of Simone's house, other than just dust. The gang then left Zombie Island, which would hopefully be for the last time. Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Island Civil War was written and read by Ryan James Cheshire. Hello and thank you for listening to my Scooby-Doo fan-made audiobook, which is a sequel to Zombie Island, which was made because I felt I could probably do a better job of doing a sequel than the official sequel could be. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I also have ideas for doing other Scooby-Doo audiobooks, so let me know if that's something you'd like to hear. And I also have an idea for a spin-off of Zombie Island called Moonscar. I'll let you figure out what that'll be about. But yeah, thus concludes Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Island Civil War.